We've been working this scenario. Long-range models have been indicating something for about the last 14 days. So the state emergency response team planning section has been working this particular scenario as well as other scenarios for at least 2 weeks now. So that's what's making us very effective in the response. Before hurricane season ever began, our team knew to hope for the best and prepare for the worst, meaning that we were more ready than ever to respond to multiple storms in this season. No stone has been left unturned in preparing for this storm, and our private sector partners have been performing at a high level to address the complex logistical preparedness needs this threat poses. Thanks to their effort, we are working around the clock to get our preparations in place, and I need all of you to now do the same. I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now, enact your plan. I highly encourage you to evacuate. We are preparing, and I have the state emergency response team preparing for the largest evacuation that we have seen, most likely since 2017 Hurricane Irma. But to that end, I want to go back to our basics. Evacuate if you are in an evacuation zone. If you are not in an evacuation zone and your house was built in conjunction with the Florida Building Code, which pretty much throughout the state of Florida means after 2004, you may be better just to stay in place. If you're dependent on power, you will need to evacuate. If you're dependent on a special set of circumstances, you'll need to evacuate. But if you're not one of those individuals and you're inland, not in an evacuation zone, it may be better for you to just stay in place. I know that many Floridians are still trying to recover from Hurricane Helene, and your plans for Milton need to reflect that. Did you go through all your water? Did you go through all your food? Did you go through all your pet food? Do you need to get new batteries? Please make sure you're doing that today. Make sure your entire family knows the plan, including seniors and children. Make sure you have enough supplies in your disaster supply kit to last each member of your family for at least 7 days. Don't forget that the pets need to be included in that plan, and be sure to include supplies for them as you get ready to evacuate. If you or a loved one have access or fundamental needs issues, please register today with Florida Special Needs Registry at floridadisaster.org/SNR. That's S as in Sierra, N as in November, R as in Romeo, to provide to your local first responders ahead of the potential storm impacts. When you do this, your local county government will ensure that somebody actually comes to your house, picks that person up, and gets them to where they need to go. Now is the time to determine if your home can withstand the hurricane force winds, and if it cannot, as I've already mentioned, you need to evacuate. You can visit floridadisaster.org/KNOW, that's /no, to find out if you live in an evacuation zone. As we talked about 2 weeks ago, flood zones are different than evacuation zones. Please make sure you're paying attention to your evacuation zone, not your flood zone. I want to ensure you that each and every member of the State Emergency Response Team has been working 24 hours a day for the last several days to make sure that we are ready for this particular storm. As the governor's mentioned, we are doing debris removal with every state agency asset that we have, everything from pickup trucks and trailers all the way to dump trucks and grapple hooks. We are getting out there and supplementing the local response to getting that debris out of the way. As the governor has said, DEP has given me the authority to utilize any site for debris management. I can go in there on a minute's notice and take over that site. DEP is not standing in the way of us getting property to use as debris management sites. I have that authority. We have done that, and we will continue to do that. I want to assure everybody that when you get on the evacuation routes and you start evacuating, we have thought through a lot of contingencies. Florida Department of Transportation will have all of its road rangers. We will have emergency fuel along all evacuation routes. We will have emergency EV charging stations along evacuation routes. We're looking at every potential possible location that can potentially house someone as what we refer to in emergency management as a refuge of last resort. We have been identifying those locations along evacuation routes now for more than 5 days in anticipation of something major happening. I say all this to tell you, the State Emergency Response Team is ready. We are prepared. We've been working every contingency, every scenario. I want you to rest assured that we're here for you, and we're ready to respond to your needs. Governor, as always, thank you for everything you do, and as far as everyone out there, please make sure you follow us on X and Instagram at FLCERT, and then on Facebook at FDEM, and you can always go to floridadisaster.org/updates for all of our updates. Again, thank you very much, Governor.